So one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make is when to retire. And that is a huge decision. And to help you out, I've developed a website with some free tools that you can go ahead and download for an interview with your financial advisor. So let's go ahead and talk about that a little bit. Now, most of us, we start out developing our plan, talking to our family, our friends, our co-workers, and we learn a lot about how to invest our money. But until you actually talk to retirees and retirement financial advisors, it's kind of hard to develop the tools that you need to make that decision of whether to retire and when to retire. So based on that, like what I did, is I figured out just a super rough budget. I said, well, hey, if I'm making this much, they say I'm going to need 80% of that money for my budget. And then I based it on the 4% rule. And unfortunately, what that said was, dude, you got a long way to go. So my original plan, my plan before I started digging into it was, I was going to work till I was 67 or 70, and then hopefully I'd have enough to retire. But when it came right down to it and I got into my later 50s, I started thinking, looking at this, I'm not so sure that, number one, how much am I actually going to spend? And that ended up being fairly close to what my budget number was. But number two is how I was going to spend that money. Now, going on a linear 4% rule can really make you work much longer than you may need to work. So I went ahead and went into a deep dive, and I used YouTube for a lot of it. And there's some great channels out there with people who really can help you. And this is not financial advice. I don't know your situation, and I am definitely not a financial advisor. But there are people out there who can help you. And my first suggestion is you interview financial advisors, and not just any financial advisor. Go ahead and Google a fiduciary fee-only financial advisor, because you may think, well, you know what? I know how to invest. I'm not going to trust somebody with my money. You don't have to. You really don't. These people will go ahead and for, $500 to $1,000, maybe a little more, will build you a retirement plan. And that retirement plan will be very comprehensive, and it could be very eye-opening, because these folks do it for a living. And that doesn't mean you got to give them your nest egg to manage. Now, like me personally, I did go ahead and hand over my nest egg to them, because there are certain situations, if something happens to me, I don't want my wife having to worry about what's going to happen with our money. And what you're going to find really quick is that you're going to have a more intimate relationship with your financial advisor than almost anybody you know, because you've got to open up to them and you've got to give them a lot of personal information about your finances, about your budget, what you're spending your money on. And like I say, you will find out you'll become very intimate with your financial advisor. And I know that sounds really weird, but it's true. So the tools on this website I developed are basically to help you get ready to talk to your financial advisor. Now, the first thing is vocabulary. They're going to use some terms that you probably do know, but it's not a bad idea to go ahead and download that, print it, and just review those terms, because when you go into the interview, if you show that you know what you're talking about, it'll make things go a lot easier and a lot quicker, and they'll actually understand, hey, this person knows what they're talking about. The second is a checklist. And what that checklist is are the things that you need to provide the financial advisor to do the assessment or do the retirement plan for you. And it's going to be quite a bit of work on your end. And the third is kind of a budget form. And I have it actually, for me, it calculates. I have it in an Excel spreadsheet. I haven't decided whether to go ahead and release it that way or not. Right now, it's just a PDF. But you need to break out your wants and your needs, because as we'll go through in further videos, You know, there are 3 stages of retirement: go-go years, slow-go years, and no-go years. And you really need to have a budget set for all 3 of those years. And when you go through this exercise, do everything in today's dollars, because their software will go ahead and calculate for inflation and all that, and they can put different numbers in that. Okay? So go ahead and visit my website, download those tools, and you know what? I hope you have a great day and watch this video next.